What's up, friends? We're going to kick it old school. We're going to kick it old school to the days where I would just pull off the side of the road because I had words to say to you, and they need to be said, so here we are. Well, if we wanted to kick it really old school, we would just record videos while we were driving our car. We don't do that anymore. Sometimes I'll make a story. And even then I gotta catch myself because I'm like, somebody is going to be mad at me for doing this. Anyway, let's talk about third base, shall we? And here's what I mean by that. So, in the world of finishing anything we start, everybody kind of has their own patterns. And so any of you who've ever worked with me before, I do talk to people about like the platter of things that are lingering on your plate that tend to make you feel overwhelmed, even though they're not even an active thing. It's just something you need to finish or let go of or close or whatever it is. But it's taking up space on the platter that is your life, the platter that is your capacity. And until you finish it or remove it from the platter, it's still lingering in the background, tapping you on the shoulder, taking up space. And that's what we don't want. In order to have higher capacity for things like what I said yesterday, when I made a video yesterday where I mentioned, about life being calmer and life being not chaotic, like, I feel like this is a really good second day conversation following that up. And it's because, like, in order for life to be that way, it's because I have trained myself and everyone around me for the moments that aren't calm so that they don't take over and they don't ruin everything, okay? So, for example, today, so I'm on third base on a project for a client, on a website rebuild, okay? Now, don't come at me to rebuild your website because it is a rare occasion that I will do this. But for these particular people, they've been screwed over by a couple of web designers, and I just was like, fuck this, let me build your store for you instead. And it's very easy for me to do that kind of thing for people that I know really well and I know the brand really well. Anyway, so I'm on third base for this project. And as humans, we do tend to like be really jazzed up when we're leaving home plate. You know, we hit the ball, we're leaving home plate, we get to first, and we're like, get the first chunk of that project done. And then the excitement starts to fade. And we have these moments from like first base to second base. It almost feels like you don't want to do it. It's like dragging your feet. You really don't feel like you're making that much progress. It's like, But especially with projects like what I'm talking about and most projects that I work on, the middle part is when my brain starts to get mushy, and I have to limit the amount that I do each day because otherwise I'm literally no good to myself. I get sick, like it's a whole thing, right? So I was struggling, and here's the other part. The middle section from first base to third base feels really struggly. Like, let's just be real. So while I say, ooh, calm, and I have calm and I have, no chaos, like that is true the majority of the time because I have created fail safes and rules and trained myself and everyone around me to where we do not thrive in chaos anymore. That is not a place that we choose to be. It is a wasted space for me, right? I don't do insanity. I don't do rushing. I'm not a big fan of that. Here's why. I have found that, this is like a little side note, chaos, rushing, stressing out, oh my God, over-promising a million things, giving unrealistic timelines, all that does is set you up for anxiety. All that does is set you up for stress. All that does is set you up for things to be harder than they need to be. Okay? So I choose to not make things harder. Well, at least I'm daily consciously working on not making things harder for myself. There's where we're at. So, needless to say, the part in the middle between first base and third base still feels struggly. So last week I was on second base and I got so much done. Like the largest chunk of the project where I felt accomplished and excited, I could show the client, that huge chunk got done from second base to third base, okay? And we feel good about it. And now from third base to home plate is just the most like, it's like the worst part most of the time, because it's all of this little tedious detail buttons and links and payment processors and testing a product sale and all of this little in between. And then I'm like calling the place because these people that I'm building it for have had lots of issues with different things in the past with payment processors. So I really want to make sure that I'm choosing the best for them personally, because as a good professional, you know that just because something works for you doesn't mean it works for everyone else. So you have to look for the best solution for that person's individual situation. That's when you know you got a good coach, by the way, is when they're not just trying to tell you to do it their way. I don't know why this eye is staying closed. Probably because it's bright. I'm like, I look like a crazy lady. Anyway, I didn't want to have my sunglasses on. I did get Botox last week. Maybe that's what it is. And she put a little extra right here. Maybe my eyes are messed up. I'm gonna have to pay attention to that later. Anyways, I think it's really just the squinting. But third base, that's where I'm at. And then of course, here's what also happens in the midst of the, I have a calm and peaceful life. I'm on third base on a project, and it's like the worst. But it's okay. I'm going to see it through and get it done. I'm going to come through like a champ, right? I'm going to slide into home plate. It's going to be, professional, and it's going to be impressive the way I slide it and get safe at home plate. That's what we're doing. And life throws you shit. I swear, everybody between third base and home plate, life throws you all the curveballs it can possibly throw you. Like always. So for today, I'm like, all right, I'm up, I'm handling this. I'm doing a huge chunk of this, and then I'm going to go deal with some stuff I need to help my parents with because I'm going out of town next week. I've got a lot. So I sat there, and as I was getting ready this morning, I was chatting with a friend of mine on video, and I just started piling up all of the stressors. And I was like, okay, how am I going to get all this done by the end of the week? Oh my God, when am I going to do this? I have to go over there and do this for this construction company before I leave. I have to do this, and I have to get all of Tony's stuff ready because he's going to Canada. Just all of his paperwork I have to get. I'm not packing for him. He can do that himself. But I started to get really stressed out, and I felt like the chaos and the overwhelm bubbling up. And so here's the kicker. Yes, I'm on third base for this project, getting ready to slide into home within the next couple of days because I have to. They leave on Saturday, and it has to be done before then, and it will be done before then. But at the same time, I have a panicking mom on the phone. She's got shit that time sensitive needs to be dealt with. She can't do it herself. I'm going to go help her, blah, 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 blah. And I felt the overwhelm. So here's the deal. The way that you keep to your deadlines, but also keep the chaos down when it starts to boil up, and the stress and the anxiety when it starts to boil up, is trusting your plan. You have to trust in your own abilities to get shit done and to follow through. That's where like the first part of my coaching journey really comes into play. But the second part is trusting in your own ability and then following through and keeping track of that evidence and saying, see how much I handle these things. It's also in realizing that you have to have flexibility. I did not have flexibility for a very large chunk of my life. You can ask a lot of people. A lot of my relationships didn't last because I had no flexibility. A lot of things. Because of my health, I was very regimented, and that was my way to stay alive, right? So, with that being said, in order to reach this level where I am now, and the way my life is 90% of the time now, you have to allow space for flexibility. So today, my plan was to do all the work this morning and then not leave until like noon or after to get to my mom and dad's, so I could deal with this stuff this afternoon. And I found myself not being able to concentrate at all. And I'm like, could I have forced myself to sit at that computer and maybe get like 3 things done for this project? Yes. But is that the right answer for me? No. This is fucking dumb. I'm wasting time. So I got up and ate my food and grabbed my shit. I even grabbed an extra meal so I have food for when I'm there. And I'm like, all right. And my mom was texting me. Like, I was texting somebody else. I just could not concentrate. So I'm like, this is stupid. We're going. So here I am in my car on my way there to deal with it. not on the schedule I initially had, and that's okay. And when I get home, I am going to have to tap into the discipline that I don't love to tap into sometimes, because my rebellious insides don't love being told what to do, especially even from myself, so I can get the chunk of this third base to home plate done today and tomorrow, because it has to be, so I can do my testing and we can be good to go. So I hope that with me explaining that to you, the whole idea of not having stress and chaos and insanity in your world and just not accepting that to be your reality, I'm hoping that makes a little bit more sense and can maybe give you even a little bit more insight into how you can create that for yourself as well. Because it is possible. It just takes commitment, and it takes a continuous effort of being conscious with your behaviors, your thoughts, your reactions, catching yourself, which takes time. It's exhausting work, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. I definitely would not be able to do it without the team of humans that I've created around me to support me in that journey. So don't be hard on yourself if you don't have a coach and you don't have a team of people to support you in your own mindset shift changes and your own mindset work. Because if you're trying to do all of this alone, it is extraordinarily hard. It's extraordinarily hard to do it when you have people assisting you. So, or supporting you, I should say. When I say supporting me, I mean they listen. They let me bounce my shit off of them. They tell me I'm doing a good job when I need to hear it, if I am doing a good job. They don't feed me full of bullshit, but they are there, and they help me sort through the limiting beliefs and the moments that I am not making conscious decisions, or maybe I was reactive. We sort through those things more real time so that it doesn't linger into problems that turn into mountains. I am a big fan of not letting my molehills turn into mountains. That's something that's big. So anyways, I'm going to keep driving. So as always, friends, thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me a lot. If you have, also leave a comment if you don't mind. That would be really helpful too. And if you think anyone else can benefit from this, hit that share button and let's share it over to them and let more people have access to this message. Thank you so much. Go out into the world and be a good human and have a great day. Bye.